Hello and thank you for joining our program. This is Canal Algérie's English News Edition and I'm your host Karim Zachary. Coming up next in our news program. During a Council of Ministers, the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, gave instructions to create a body investigating the signs of wealth among all public employees without exception. The President of the Republic receives the Interior Minister of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Abdulaziz bin Saud bin Nayef bin Abdulaziz Al Saud. The Political Bureau of the Council of the Nation, which met under the chairmanship of Salah Boujil, extended its best wishes on the occasion of the New Year 2022 and wished the head of state success in the completion of his noble missions and to Algeria more progress and development. A rich program for Yanair is set up by the Amazighi High Commission, National Television and Radio. The festivities will end with the prize of the President of the Republic of Amazigh Literature and Language Award ceremony. Good evening. Those were the headlines. First in our news, the President of the Republic, Supreme Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, chaired over a meeting of the Council of Ministers on Sunday. The meeting was devoted to the examination of two draft laws on the fight against corruption and the modalities of exercising the right to organize trade unions. Numerous presentations were made related to the mechanisms for appointing administrators at the level of communes where local elections have not taken place, in addition to the follow-up of the implementation of the decisions on the transfer and devolution to the public commercial sector of confiscated property. After the opening of the session, the President of the Republic renewed his end-of-the-year wishes to the Algerian people, wishing them a year marked by development and prosperity, before officially installing the Inspector General of the State Services and local authorities at the Presidency of the Republic. Following the presentation of the government balance sheet of the last 2 weeks by the Prime Minister, Minister of Finance, Ayman bin Abdulrahman, the President has given instructions concerning, firstly, corruption through the creation of a new body to investigate the signs of wealth of state officials without exception. Regarding the methods of exercising of trade union rights, the President of the Republic insisted on the fact that the exercise of trade union rights is a fundamental basis of democracy and that the 2020 Constitution enshrines this right, affirming that the revision of the law on trade unions will be carried out in the near future. Regarding the methods of exercising the right to organize, President Tebboune stressed that the exercise of the right to organize trade unions is a fundamental basis of democracy and that the 2022 Constitution enshrines this right, affirming that the revision of the law relating to the means of exercising the right must comply with the resolution of the International Labour Office. He called for ensuring that the law takes into account the conditions for the true representativeness of trade unions involving sectoral trade unions, creating legal mechanisms for evaluating trade unions' activity from management responsibilities and membership. Concerning the mechanisms for the installation of administrators at the level of communes where local elections have not taken place, the President of the Republic insisted on the involvement of local civil society representativeness in this provisional operation to ensure the management of communes and the preparation of partial elections as soon as possible. Concerning the census operation for the 2022, the President ordered the exploitation of new innovative local technologies relying on young skills, in parallel with a commitment to economic recovery from 2022. The revision of the Code of Local Authorities and the involvement of civil society taking into account the specific, including the economic aspect of each municipality. The exemption of the underprivileged communes from the operation of restoration and equipments of schools and school canteens by integrating them into or in the project of revision of local authorities code. Concerning the follow-up of the application of the resolutions related to the transfer of confiscated goods to the public sector, President Tebboune instructed the government to accelerate the final operation of inventory of the different confiscated goods to put them under the authority of the state and to integrate them in the dynamics of national production before the end of the first quarter of the year 2022. The President of the Republic also urged the Industry Ministry to follow and list the factories whose regulatory situation is in the process of regularization, but also to list the jobs created under the regularization according to its financial value in national currency and in foreign currency as well, while exposing it periodically at each Council of Ministers. As for the transport sector, the President has ordered the opening of maritime line with the Islamic Republic of Mauritania as soon as possible. Abdelmajid Tebboune insisted on the necessity to give a particular interest to this international event in all its dimensions, so that it is up to the image of Algeria. Finally, the President of the Republic gave orientations to the government in order to associate the citizen to the local management and said that he was satisfied with the measures taken, which allowed the relaunch of several factories and the lifting of the bureaucratic constraints in order to relaunch the economy. Moving on now, still with the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, received the Interior Minister of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Abdulaziz bin Saud bin Nayef bin Abdulaziz Al Saud. The audience took place at the Presidency Building in the presence of the Presidency of the Republic Cabinet Director Abdulaziz Khalaf and the Interior Minister Canal. The meeting of the Council of the Nation Bureau was extended to parliamentary groups and quaestors chaired by Salah Koujil. On the occasion of the New Year 2022, the President of the Upper House of Parliament extended his best wishes to the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, wishing him success in the accomplishment of his noble missions and to Algeria more progress and development. Salah Koujil congratulated also the National People's Army security bodies and the medical teams who are facing the COVID-19, wishing them all good health and prosperity. The Political Council refutes and denounces all the tendentious and demeaning speeches and the aims of parties seeking to disrupt the process undertaken by the President of the Republic, recalling that the head of state chose to make the year 2022 a year of an economic takeoff after having finished the political edification. Moving on now, following the decisions taken by the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, exceptional operation permits were granted for hundreds of companies that were blocked for bureaucratic reasons. A step forward aiming to revive the industry. More with Manal Maafa.
Processing unit located in Serif province received its exceptional operation permit.
There were many obstacles that prevented us from getting our operation permit, but today, after 4 years, our factory is finally 100% operational.
In Serif province, more than 100 companies were blocked for not having technical and administrative permits. Thus, the decision to issue exceptional operation permits is beneficial for many economic operators.
Approximately 84 economic operators benefit from exceptional permits in 2021, and that including the lifting of freeze-off, 44 projects and 66 construction permits. Today we can say that Serif province will be up to the challenge and make the year 2022 a year of economic growth following the President's commitments. We're looking forward to create 20,000 direct and indirect jobs.
After finding a solution for the administrative obstacles, these industrial units finally entered into operation, which is a great news for the economic operators.
We specialized in manufacturing of medicines packaging. We entered into negotiations with a Jordanian company to manufacture medical tubes, which are not manufactured in Algeria. We aspire to be the first ones to do it. We can only be optimistic after the President of the Republic's commitment to make 2022 a year dedicated for economic prosperity.
These investment projects will pave the way for many job opportunities for a prosperous and diversified economy.
In Msila province, two young men stood out in two different sectors, namely leatherwork and packaging. Their companies started small, then grew and created job opportunities for several people. The details with Manal Amari.
Bilal, an investor from Sila, launched his own leather goods company, which created 10 job openings. He now manages to trade his products all over the national territory.
We used to import all leather goods from Turkey. Now we make bags with local raw material. We even managed to hire young people from the region, but we're still not able to meet the strong needs.
We would like to expand our business and reach the objective of producing more goods. Following a market study, Mustafa, another young man from Sila province, started his small packaging business.
There is an important need for everything related to packaging, whether it's made out of cardboard or plastic. I'm currently trading my products over 6 provinces.
We have an industrial area across Busada and Msila. According to the demand, these projects no longer go through the Algerian Office for Project Studies and Investment Development. Investors only need to have the land agencies and the mayor's agreements. To support young investors, Msila province created a new activity zone for the benefit of micro-enterprises in order to give new impetus to investment in the region.
After a 3-week winter break, students of all levels headed back to school on Sunday in compliance with the sanitary protocol put in place. The details with Manal Amari.
On the national level, students headed back to school after a 3-week winter break, with the implementation of strict sanitary instructions for the safety of all. Students at the Amara Rashid High School in Algiers are a great example to follow. They are respecting the strict health protocol that was put in place.
Now that the holidays are over, we are happy to resume our classes. Everybody is respecting the sanitary protocol by wearing protective masks and social distancing at all times. We started a new term. They screened our temperatures before entering the school and provided us with hand sanitizers and masks.
The school staff is staying alert in order to monitor students and ensure that all the sanitary measures are being respected at all times.
We welcome the students back in good conditions with a strict sanitary protocol put in place to protect everybody. We are working hard to raise awareness on vaccination, since it is the best way to protect both the students and staff.
Raising awareness on anti-COVID-19 preventive measures intensified throughout all educational establishments to curb the spread of the pandemic and guarantee the smooth running of the school year.
The celebration of the Amazigh New Year, or what is known locally as Yenayer, is a unifying event of all Algerian people in a position to strengthen national cohesion, emphasized this morning the Secretary General of the High Commission for Amazighity, C. El-Hashmi Assad. The Secretary General of the High Commission of Amazighity gave a statement during a press conference accompanied by the General Manager of the EPTV and the General Manager of National Radio and Television on the occasion of Yenayer celebration. A rich program was set for the official festivities, which will take place from the 9th to the 12th of January in the province of Tamanrasset. The celebrations of Yenayer will close by an award ceremony to present the prize of the President of the Republic of Amazigh Language and Literature. C. El-Hashmi Assad said that it's a big event placed under the high patronage of the President of the Republic to celebrate Yenayer, the new Amazigh year, and award the prize of the President of the Republic of Amazigh Literature and Language in Tamanrasset. As for the choice of the capital of Ahgar, it was made to contribute to send a message of national cohesion in the 4 corners of the country. He added that all the means were mobilized to make this event a success. For his part, the General Manager of the National Radio, Mohammed Baghali, revealed that a rich program is to be launched during the occasion of Yenayer. He underlined that the volume of hours of broadcasting programs in the Amazigh language in certain channels, for instance in the year 2021 in Bahja Radio, was at the rate of 2.5%, and now it is at 8% as part of the festivities. And on the same occasion, he said that he or their radio will present in the province of Boumerdès Amazigh spoken programs at a rate of 50% hand in hand with the Arabic language. The local radio Boumerdès will air these programs 24/7. As for the state television general manager Shaban Lunakel, he said that they were convinced that the best way to learn a language is through practice, and that the state TV was ready to accompany this method through the audiovisual media. He underlined that the state television has a great ambition regarding the diversification and enrichment of its programs, and that they are willing to create new channels in Bijaya, Oras, and even in the southern regions of Adrar. Moving on to a different topic, Hamid Melzi, the former director of the Sahel residence, was sentenced to 3.5 years in prison by the 6th chamber of the Algiers court, a case in which he was prosecuted with other individuals for charges related to corruption. The same chamber also confirmed the judgments handed down in first instance against the two former prime ministers, Ahmed Yahya and Abdel Malik Salal, who are also being prosecuted in this case, in addition to Mouloud Ahmed and Salim Melzi. The first instance judgment against the two defendants, Bakhouch Alash, former CEO of Algérie, and Fouad Shriyat, was annulled. The former CEO of Algérie Telecom, Ahmed Choudar, was sentenced to 1 year suspended prison term and a fine of 200,000 dinars. The same sentence was handed down to Walid Melzi. The same court also confirmed the judgments handed down in the first instance against the legal entities of Melzi and his sons, with compensation to the public treasury in the amount of 100 million dinars. The former CEO of Algérie Telecom, Ahmed Choudar, was sentenced to 1 year in prison and a fine of 1 million dinars, while the former director of the official residence, Al Mithaq, was sentenced to a 1 year suspended prison term and a fine of 200,000 dinars, placed in or partial detention since May 2019. Hamid Melzi is being prosecuted on several counts, including money laundering, transfer of assets from crime, abuse of office for the acquisitions of undue privileges, incitements of public officials to exploit their influence, in addition to the legislative and regulatory provisions in force. As for the COVID-19 situation in Algeria, 341 new confirmed cases of coronavirus and 7 new deaths were recorded in the last 24 hours, while 247 recovered and were discharged from the hospital, according to a communique by the Health Ministry. To international news now, the Zionist military launched air attacks on Palestinian houses and lands in the Gaza Strip as fireworks lit up the skies to celebrate the New Year 2022 around the world. Different type of fire came from the Zionist entity. Some of the attacks targeted agricultural lands too. The Zionist forces are always provoking the Palestinians in the Aqsa Mosque, as well as prohibiting Palestinians to enter while they organize prayers. These attacks come in time when the Zionists keep Gaza under blockade, tightly restricting movement out of the territory that is home to 2 million Palestinians. Abroad again, with military operations that continue along the Wall of Shame in Western Sahara. Forward units of the Sahrawi Liberation Army on Saturday shelled sites of the Moroccan occupation forces entrenched in the Mahbes sector and the headquarters of the enemy's 34th Regiment. The Sahrawi Army also targeted positions of the Moroccan forces in Hawza. The units of the Sahrawi People's Liberation Army carried out new attacks against the Moroccan occupying forces in the sectors of Hawza and Al-Mahbes, said Sunday the Sahrawi Ministry of Defense in its military communique. According to the statement reported by the Sahrawi news agency, units shelled the positions of the Moroccan occupiers in the area of Ahrisha Dirat in the sector of Hawza and that of Oudi Damran in the sector of Al-Mahbes. The Makhzen regime is stained with the blood of Palestinians after normalizations of relations with the Zionist entity, said Palestinian journalist Jamal Rayan. The Moroccan regime negotiated at the expense of the Palestinian people by recognizing the Zionist entity. Then it asked the Palestinians to recognize Western Sahara as a Moroccan territory. This is strange and rude request, he wrote in a post. The journalist paid tribute to Algeria. God bless the Algerian state, innocent of any bloodshed of Palestinians, but the Moroccan regime is not. That's what history will remember, the journalist wrote on his Twitter account. Moving on, the very fast Algerian kite surfing championship took place in Koutama Beach in Jijel province from the 28th to the 29th of December. The details with Manal Maafa.
Kite surfing is a wind-powered water sport that uses a kite and a board to propel the surfer across the water. The organization of the first national championship of kite surfing in Jijel province was an opportunity to bring together enthusiasts of this sport. About 40 athletes from 10 provinces participated in this first edition. We are honored to host this first edition of the Algerian Kite Surfing Championship, a first added to the Algerian Federation of Sailing. It is the first national championship of kite surfing, and we hope that there will be other competitions of this kind. It is at the beach of Koutama, located in Jijel province, where this competition of 2 days took place, making the local public learn about this nautical sport. Developing this water sport also helps to promote Algeria's touristic potential. The Algerian Sailing Federation succeeded in carrying out this initiative. The objective is to promote the practice of this sport nationwide and eventually form a national team in anticipation of the Olympic Games of 2024 in Paris.
Well, that's the end of our news. Thank you for keeping it here on Canal Algérie. Enjoy the rest of the programs and bye for now.